So check it out. You come home, you want to make something interesting, something good besides just the regular pan-fried chicken that's on the pan. You're tired and sick and tired of the same thing. This is something that you can mix it up really easy, really fast in your oven. You don't need to fire up the barbecue. You just need a couple ingredients. You can mix and match whatever you want besides what I got here, and you can cook it in the oven. It's a chicken kebab. It's completely easy to make, literally 30 minutes and you'll be done. So what I'm using here today is 2 chicken breasts, because there's 2 of us, the camera lady here behind the camera and me, so we're using 2 organic chicken breasts, a little bit of mayo, saffron, depending if you like saffron or not. You can use saffron, you could not use saffron, depending on what you want. Salt, pepper, obviously. I got paprika, I have whiskey, I have garlic powder, which is very unusual for me to use garlic powder in any recipe, but if you're not marinating the chicken an hour before you're cooking it, it's easier to use garlic powder, obviously, than to put fresh garlic and let it marinate in, because it's not going to stick to the chicken when you're cooking it on a kebab. I'm using yellow and orange peppers. I got the mini ones, the small ones, which are awesome, and I just dice them up in quarters. Took me literally 5 minutes. I know not everybody is a fan of onions, but I am going to be using onions. I'm used to having onions on a kebab, so to me it's almost natural. And pineapple. Pineapple goes great with chicken, and it works out great. What you're going to need is some sort of a hot sauce, if you like hot sauce, that is. I use Tabasco or Sriracha by Tabasco. Easy, simple. It's a little bit of mayo that I'm using. Easy way to do this is first you dice up your chicken. So let's do that. Obviously it's just 2 fresh organic chicken breasts. You can make them as big as you want. The bigger you make them, the longer they're going to take to cook. The smaller you make them, the faster they'll cook. So obviously you don't want tiny ones that they're going to dry up when they cook. Alright, let's cut this up. Just nice little squares. Super simple. And then, use my hands real quick. Salt to your flavor. Mix it in. Don't be afraid of salt. I always say you're not getting the salt inside the chicken. When you bite in, the salt's not going to be there. So put it on pretty good amount, just because you want flavor in here, and you're not marinating the chicken. So the reason I'm using the mayo is very simple. Mayo is a harder substance. It will stick to the chicken, keeping all of those ingredients on there, all those spices on there, a lot easier. It's going to add flavor to it. It's going to cook off, but it makes it stick there because you're not marinating it. If you marinate it, you don't need the mayo. You can marinate in whatever flavor you want when you're making a kebab. Alright, so I got the pepper in there. Next, like I said, garlic powder. And again, don't be too afraid of it. A little bit of paprika, just for the color and the flavor and the smell. We got the paprika, a little bit of olive oil, just a splash. And then you could add your sriracha or Tabasco. I'm going to use a little bit of sriracha. Sriracha's got a little bit of a barbecue flavor to it. Or barbecue. I mean garlic, not barbecue flavor. And then obviously the whiskey, just a splash. And that's just for flavor. Okay, now there's the other thing you can do is you could either use honey to give it that a little bit of sweetness, which I'm not always a fan of using honey. I like brown sugar, so I'm going to give it just a splash of brown sugar, and you can see how much I use there. Very little, probably about a tablespoon. And now I just mix everything together. That looks like it's good with pepper. You want to see a little bit of a pepper color in there. I mean, you can see little bits and pieces of pepper in there. That usually is the way that I like to see it. And I always say, do not be afraid of spices. Do not be afraid of pepper. Do not be afraid of overusing whatever spice you're using. Saffron, on the other hand, I would say be careful a little bit if you're not crazy about the strong saffron flavor. If you want just a little bit, don't go overboard on it. You want a little bit on there, but not overwhelming. You obviously don't want to dump the whole bottle in there, and because it's going to be a very strong flavor. So mix the saffron in. Next thing that I wanted to say, you need the sticks and a pan. Obviously, you want the sticks to fit on the pan. If they're not going to hang there, you don't want to just put the kebab on the stick and lay it in the pan. I mean, you could do that, but you're going to have to flip it every 5 minutes in the oven so it doesn't burn. But this, you flip it about, I want to say, every 10 minutes at 140 degrees. Full cook time is about 10, or I should say 20 to 30 minutes. So you flip it every 10 minutes. Very simple. You can get these at Jewel, wherever. Target has them. Any place, Walmart even has them. So I'm going to be doing probably 2 skewers per kebab, just because they're a little flimsy and I want them to stay in place. So I'm going to do probably 2 sticks per one. Okay, so skewering is easy. The way that I sliced the actual onions, you can skewer them very easily. They do come apart, but as long as you skewer them, they should be okay. And then I do a chicken. Then I'll do a piece of pineapple. I'll do a piece of pepper. So it's not just chicken, a chicken. That makes it a little more mixed up, taste good. I know a lot of people don't like onions, but some people prefer cooked onions over raw onions. They don't like raw onions, but they can deal with cooked onions. So depends on you what you like. And there you go. There's about 3 pieces of chicken per skewer. Let's see if that'll hold up. Yeah, looks like that's staying. So I could actually use 1 stick per skewer. These are a little bit stronger than I expected. Usually the ones that I used before were very flimsy. So okay, they're all skewered on. I topped it off with a little bit of sriracha on top, just because I like it extra spicy. We both enjoy spicy, so it works out great. And then what I do is I add water to the bottom of the pan, and I would say maybe just enough for about 1/4 inch of water. So that water is actually boiling off, and it helps cook it faster, and it doesn't let it dry out as fast. Also, you could put a splash of whiskey in there. As that's coming off, it's gonna put some of that smoky flavor in there. Mix it in a little bit. Perfect. Okay, and we're ready to go into the oven for the first 10 minutes to cook, and then flip after 10 minutes. All right. We're gonna serve the kebabs over rice. We have brown rice with mixed in vegetables, or like a vegetable medley in there. We actually cheated a little bit. We used a rice cooker. So this rice is pre-cooked, but I want to get that nice brown cooked feeling on it, or a little bit of browning on it, so that should be good. Right there, start cooking that. And we put a little bit of salt in there with a little bit of sugar on there when we were cooking it in the rice cooker. We're gonna add a little bit of soy sauce that I'm gonna use, just a splash. There. It's almost like a fried brown rice in a way. So the rice is pretty much done. Throw it on the plate. Alright, got that. Get it spread out a little bit. So looks good. Okay. And then the chicken is actually done. It's been about 25 minutes in the oven. I flipped them once, so they're just about done. Nice golden brown. The water's still in there. If you're cooking, if you added water or anything on the bottom, what you can do is actually, if it dries out, you could add a little bit more water just so it's not as dry. But I mean, you can see the chicken is pretty much cooked. It's perfectly golden brown. Pineapple's a little browned over. So we're gonna grab it right at the stick. Put it right on the rice. And we usually do one smaller portion and one bigger portion. Perfect. There you go. And we are done. Chicken kebabs in about 30 minutes. This and see what it tastes like. It's really good with the pineapple, the rice. The rice is a little sweet. The pineapple makes the chicken a little bit sour. It has a little bit of onion flavor to it. Again, that's if something that you like, if you like to put the onion flavor on. I like to take it right off the skewer, just mix it in with the rice and eat it. I'm actually having it with a semi-sweet or a dry martini. It tastes really good, and bon appetit. Simple, fast, and easy. 30 minutes. That's all it took.